Hello, my friend. Welcome to the Chronically podcast. I'm your host, Aimee Esther, and in today's episode, we are talking about how to be good at chronic illness. If you live chronically ill like me and are looking for more purpose, control, and joy in your life, then you are in the right place. This is the podcast that challenges your thinking around chronic illness so you can live the most amazing life despite extra challenges. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello, my friend, and welcome. I have a very fun episode for you today, a unique one, I guess, something that just came to my mind and thought, you know what? Is this possible? Is it possible to be good at living chronically ill? And it just sparked this idea for today's episode, because how often do we think life sucks? Chronic illness sucks. Why do I have to go through this? This isn't fair. Why does this have to happen to me? If you're anything like me, you may have thought that a time or two, and there's nothing wrong with thinking that. It's a valid thought. I mean, it makes sense why we think that. Our brains are just trying to find problems in the world, and it's very easy to find a problem when you have pain all the time. But this podcast is about challenging your thinking, and so I want to share something with you that may help you get out of a funk when you're in it and you're having thoughts like this. So today I want to give you a new way of thinking, which is, what if you could be good at living chronically ill? What if it was a talent to be chronically ill? What if it was something you could be a professional at? What if you just decided today that you were going to be really good at chronic illness? Let's think about something that you're good at right now outside of chronic illness. Think about a talent that you have or you've had sometime in your life. Now, the talent that came to my mind for me was dancing. When I grew up, I was a dancer. I loved dancing, and I would say that I was good at it. I was a good dancer. So the question is, what does that mean? What does it mean to be a good dancer? What does it mean to have a talent of dancing? Now, what came to my mind was someone who is quick on picking up choreography, on picking up new dance moves and dance styles. Someone who is flexible and can stretch their body in cool ways, I guess. Someone who can do cool tricks with ease. Someone who has grace and poise. Now, those are not all things that I would describe myself as, even growing up, even as someone who was dancing all the time and thought I was a good dancer and had been told I was a good dancer. I didn't have all those things come naturally to me. Now, some of them I did. I was actually naturally pretty flexible. I had just always been pretty flexible. The splits came really easy to me. High kicks came easy to me. Stuff like that always came pretty easy to me. However, I have not been stretching in the past 10 years or so, and I would say that I am not nearly as flexible as I used to be because I don't practice it, but I still am pretty naturally flexible. I do yoga, and people will still comment about how I do it well because I'm flexible. And even though I'm not practicing all the time, I have somewhat of a talent. But if I practice more, I definitely increase that talent. It becomes easier to do. It becomes less painful. I may be able to still do the splits, but they're a lot more painful than they were a few years ago. If I did them every day, that would make that go away, and I would start to feel less pain when I do them. I would start to have it be a little bit easier to me, even though I have some natural talent for it. A few things that I did not have a natural talent for was learning choreography. That always came pretty difficult to me because I couldn't remember things quite as well as I would notice, at least it seemed like other people in my dance classes would. I would often have to take video of the dance class so that I could go home and practice. But then if I practiced, I became good at it and I was able to perform the routine. It just might take me a little bit longer to learn it. That part didn't come super easily or naturally to me, but I could work on it. And when I did, I was able to improve my dancing skills, and I was able to get better at it, and it was able to get easier, and it was a little more comfortable, because at first it was really uncomfortable. I'd feel awkward and weird that people were catching things before I did. And over time, I practiced, and I realized maybe I have to do it a different way. Maybe I have to take home a video every night and practice the moves that I learned today, while someone else can come in and in the hour that we learn the dance, has it down perfectly. But as I did that, I became a better dancer, even if it took me a little longer to learn the choreography. Another thing that didn't come very naturally to me is the grace and poise that you think of with dancers. I was very clumsy, still am, but I remember having friends making fun of me that I would trip just walking normally. Walking in a straight line, I'd trip, even though I could go dance for hours and look graceful. And that is something I had to teach myself. I had to practice, and I got more graceful with time. And I found that certain dance moves, if I followed what someone was doing and followed a graceful choreography, I could look graceful, even if an hour later I could walk down the hall and trip and fall and wasn't the most graceful person you could ever meet. But I had a talent for dancing regardless of the things that didn't come easy to me, the things that I didn't even enjoy. There were certain parts of dancing that I didn't enjoy. I didn't want that part. I remember the tumbling aspect. I remember my coach required us to take gymnastics, tumbling classes, and that didn't come naturally to me. I could do some moves. I could do the quote dancer moves. I could do aerials, which is a no-handed cartwheel. I could do a back handspring, not the prettiest, but I could do it, and I could do the basics that I needed for dancing, but I never enjoyed going to gymnastics class. I never enjoyed tumbling class. I just wanted to be in the dance room, learning new dances. So even though I didn't have natural talent for every part of dance, and even though there were parts of dance that I disliked and I didn't want to do, as I practiced, as I kept going, I became a good dancer. And I improved all of the skills that are needed to be a good dancer just by practicing. Maybe I would practice outside of class. Maybe I'd go to multiple classes a week. Whatever I was doing to keep up and keep going and to do it every day or at least multiple times a week helped me to become a really good dancer. Being, quote, good at something does not necessarily mean that it comes easy to you or it's even enjoyable to you. It means that you put in the work to learn the skills. Because even if something does come easy to you, that doesn't mean that you're necessarily good at it. Just because flexibility comes easy to me does not mean that yoga and dancing necessarily are something that I would be good at. I need to practice. I need to use the skills that I already have natural abilities for and improve those skills and practice those skills and find ways to use those skills to become a better dancer, and the skills that are a little harder for me or I don't have the natural ability for, those things I need to keep working at and practicing until I master them and I get good at them. So what does it mean to be, quote, good at something or to be a professional at something? Google says that good means having the qualities required for a particular role. So let's relate this back to chronic illness. What if you had the qualities required to be chronically ill? Tell me, what are those qualities? Just like a dancer has qualities that he or she needs to develop in order to be a, quote, good dancer, there are qualities that are needed to be good at anything. And you can be good at anything. You can be an expert at anything. What if you were good at your chronic illness? What if you were good at POTS? What if you were good at fibromyalgia? What if you were good at SIBO? What if you were good at lupus? What if you were good at Crohn's disease? What would that mean? What qualities would you need in order to be good at that? Maybe you need patience. Maybe you need resilience. You maybe need to be really good at giving yourself grace. Maybe you need to be good at not giving up and pushing through when the days get hard. Maybe you need to have faith in the future. Maybe you need to be really good at tolerating pain. Maybe you get so good at feeling pain. Maybe you get really good at controlling your humanness. Maybe you're really good at being disciplined in the way you eat so that it helps your chronic illness. Maybe you are good at knowing your limits physically, and you're able to stop yourself even when you're having a lot of fun doing something, or you are embarrassed that you have to leave the party early or you have to leave the event. Maybe you're really good at being disciplined in doing that. Maybe you're really good at being disciplined in getting the sleep that you need, going to bed at a good time, when most people struggle because they want to stay up late watching TV or working on something, and you are really disciplined at getting yourself to bed on time. Maybe you are really disciplined at doing tasks that are difficult to do when you live sick. Maybe you're really good at pushing through on days that are really hard. I recently did a video on my YouTube channel about Mr. Beast. Now, Mr. Beast is a YouTuber. He has almost 100 million subscribers on YouTube. He's huge. He does crazy things, and he has Crohn's disease. And he talked about with Joe Rogan how he really struggles with his energy, and he doesn't have very much energy. And yet I watch him do all these crazy stunts that look like they take so much energy. And so I see his example of he's so good at pushing through when he doesn't feel good. He's so good at finding balance between resting his body when he's fatigued and pushing and doing amazing things with his life. He's really good at that. Is that a skill that's required to be good at your chronic illness? What skills, what qualities do you need to be good at your chronic illness? And more importantly, what of those qualities do you already have a talent for? What of those are you already pretty good at? Are you already pretty patient? That's something for me that I need to work on, that I practice, is being more patient for my chronic illness. But I'm pretty good at pushing through to get work done, to get things that just need to get done around my house or other things. I've always been pretty good at putting my head down and working, even if I don't feel good. And that's a skill, a talent that I already have, and I get to develop it even more. I get to practice it, and I get to make it even better and refine it. And then other skills I don't have naturally, but I get to practice them and get better at them so that I can be good at living with my chronic illness. Let's jump to another definition: professional. Professional means a person competent or skilled in a particular activity. What skills do you have, and what skills do you need to be chronically ill, to live with fibromyalgia, to live with celiac disease? What skills do you need, and what skills do you already have? And can you learn to be competent in chronic illness, in POTS, in whatever illness you have? Can you be good at that and have the skills required to do chronic illness, to be a chronically ill person? What if chronic illness was the perfect trial for you? What if that was the perfect thing for you to have in your life? Because I've said this before, I'm going to say it again and again and again. If you were not chronically ill, you would still have problems in your life. If you had all of your illnesses taken away and you were perfectly healthy, you would still have problems in your life. And maybe chronic illness is better than a lot of other problems that you could have. Maybe chronic illness is the perfect trial for you. Maybe you have the talents to do it. Maybe if I had gone into softball instead of dancing, I wouldn't have had the talents to be that good at it. And maybe I wouldn't have had the dedication to put in the time to learn the skills of softball like I did with dancing. Maybe chronic illness is perfect for you. Maybe you already have a bunch of talents and skills that are required to be a chronically ill person, and maybe you can develop even more by practicing being chronically ill. Guess what? You get a lot of practice, my friend. The good news is, tomorrow when you wake up and you feel sick again, you can tell yourself, this sucks. My life sucks. Why do I have to go through this? And then you can pick yourself up and say, how about today I use as a day of practice? How about today I use as if I was going to dance class and I was learning a new skill, or I was taking some skills I learned at dance class home to practice them. And I'm going to have to practice them a lot today. What if today was a day of practice in order to refine my skills of chronic illness so I can be the best chronically ill person that you've ever seen? What if I was so good at chronic illness that people came to me when they needed help with their chronic illness? What if I was so good at it that people saw me as an inspiration? As I talked about with Mr. Beast, I see him as an inspiration. Wow, look at all that he's doing with his chronic illness. Can I do amazing things because I've watched him do it? When I watch a dancer that was amazing, can I learn how to be like her or him? Is there a skill I can learn to be a professional chronic illness person? Can I be a professional at postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome? Can I be a professional at Hashimoto's disease? Can I be a professional at all the chronic illnesses that I have? Maybe I have multiple. If you're like me, you have lots of chronic illnesses. Maybe I'm a professional at living with lots of illnesses. And for me, I'm also a mother, and maybe I add that in. Maybe I'm a professional at being a mom with chronic illness. The skills that it takes to be a good chronic illness mother, an always sick mother, a chronically ill person in the world. Maybe you work somewhere. Can you be an amazing chronically ill employee? Can you be good at that? Can you be professional at your life where it is right now? What if you were made for this? Just like they say, certain athletes were made for this. Michael Phelps was made for swimming. That does not mean that he doesn't have to practice. He may have some natural talents, but he also practices a lot. He also has a certain diet he follows. He also has trainers that help him. Just like we have doctors that help us, or therapists that help us, or coaches that help us through our illness to get better at it, to improve it. If you need a coach, I coach people who live chronically ill. If you need someone to help walk you side by side to watch the things you're going through, just like my dance coach would watch what I was going through and the things that I was struggling with and help teach me the correct way to do it, to help me be a better dancer, to help me be a good dancer. Do you need someone in your life that helps you to be good at chronic illness? You may already have that in your life. If you don't, sign up for a free consultation with me and we'll talk about it. But what if it was possible for you to be good at chronic illness? What if you were a professional at it? What if you were made for this? Why don't you, tomorrow, when you wake up, take a minute and decide that today you're going to practice being chronically ill. And you're going to be the best dang chronically ill person that anyone's ever seen. I hope you can do that for me, and I'll see you on the next episode. Hey friend, do you find value in this podcast but want to take it to the next level? Work with me one-on-one or check out Chronically Me, the course and workbook. This course takes the things you are learning on the podcast and helps you apply them directly to your life. This course dives deeper into changing your thinking, teaching you how the brain works and how to maximize your life with chronic illness. I designed this course as a companion to the podcast. The podcast gives specific, real-world examples, and the course helps you put them into action. If you want personalized one-on-one help from me, I got you. I also offer individual coaching programs where we can talk about the problems you are facing. I'll help you manage your brain and find solutions to nearly every problem that you have. We will walk hand in hand on this journey together. Check the show notes or the video description on YouTube for more information on getting extra help from me. Talk to you soon.